Can you just imagine if I just poured this all over my bod? That's not appetizing. Is that like foreplay? That's a little weird. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie and today we are back with another mukbang. Woo! I'm so freaking excited because today we have my sister's favorite Korean fried chicken. I trust her food choices. Everybody in my entire family and all of their friends have been raving about this spot. So today we're doing it.
We are doing a new spot?
Yeah,
really?
We are doing almost 2 entire chickens, kind of. Well, this one's like about half, a little over a half, and this one's almost the entire fried chicken. So here we have the crispy fried Korean, just original fried chicken. Here we have what they call their snow cream sauce. So they eat it with onions and radish and kimchi, and I'm really curious to know what that tastes like. And then here we have an entire chicken of spicy soy honey glazed fried chicken. Abyss. That was a word full. I'm gonna dip this. I just need to try this sauce. No, give me a leg. I like legs.
Leg?
Oh yeah, give me a leg, boo. I'm just here groping all the chicken. I'm so sorry. That's disgusting.
Here's the leg.
Okay, ready? It's about to get lit. Okay. Oh my gosh. So we've got fried chicken. Let me insert this. Mmm. Oh my god.
So crunchy.
Okay, let me show you guys how it's done. Some people might find this disgusting, but you know what? Don't judge no ho. These are raw. They're not raw. They're like kind of, they've been dunked in water. These are onions.
You eat it with an onion?
Uh-huh.
Hold on, let me get one.
This is by far the best fried chicken I've ever had. Wow.
It is really good.
Oh my god. Wow. Okay, so my sister says the way at the restaurant, because we to-go'd it obviously, is that they cover the onions in the sauce. You put the onions onto your chicken.
This is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to describe it. It's crunchy.
Mm-hmm.
Nice flavor.
Not too greasy.
Not greasy. Not heavy. Like well cooked.
It's almost like, it tastes like really clean for fried chicken.
Yeah.
And this sauce, not too heavy,
Sorry.
really delicious, really thick, but not like gross thick, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like super.
I feel like the flavor complements the chicken. Like neither overpowers, because sometimes when I dip things into cheese sauce, so good. But you just taste cheese sauce. You know, you don't taste anything else. You don't taste the chicken.
Wow.
And to think I yelled at my sister. She was like, you need to try this spot. And I was like, listen, I've been eating a lot of fried chicken. I haven't been craving it lately. And she's like, trust me, life-changing. Life-changing.
So good. Better?
Whoa. Whoa, whoa. Whoa. Okay. And onions down here. That was good. Holy cow. You know it's good when I'm literally speechless. And then here we have some kimchi. Oh, I saw a lot of comments. A lot of people were asking me what these like weird squares are. And I realized that I never explained it. So it just looks like a biscuit eating like gum or ice cubes or what the fuck is this, right? Essentially, it's pickled radish. So like kind of red radish, but there's a thing called Korean radish. You cut it into cubes and then you soak it in like vinegar, salt, and sugar. And it's kind of like our version of pickles. Like Koreans don't really eat a lot of pickles. If you think about something pickles, it's kimchi and radish. So this is like our pickle. You know? Wow.
Wow, these are so freaking good.
Do you like the sauce one or no sauce?
I like them both.
I know.
Is this a chain or just one store?
I think it's just 1 or 2 stores in Atlanta.
This is good. Best fried chicken.
So today, I don't even want to preface the topic of today's video. I don't even want to give you guys a little bit of a teaser. That is how insane and how quickly this entire story escalates to the depths of pretty much hell and back. And it'll just give you so many emotions. You know those like movies or those people who are just complete train wrecks and you think, okay, like they messed up, but this ends now, right? And they always take it a step further. And you're like, what? And then they're like, okay, no, it's fine. You messed up, and then you messed up again right after you messed up. But this should be it, right? But then they take it another step further, and you're just like, I'm so frustrated. I don't even know what to say at this point. Like, I'm literally watching a train wreck happen before my eyes, and it's just an absolute shit show, and this is not okay. So this story has been requested by Natalie Trujillos. I hope I said your name right, Natalie. Thank you for requesting this story, and let's just jump right in, okay?
I don't know,
you like the onions, right?
With the sauce,
Dude, the sauce! The onions don't taste super oniony.
I don't know what it is.
It's really crazy here. So this story revolves around a woman named Stacy. Now, Stacy lives in Syracuse, New York. Now, when you look at Stacy, she looks like your all-American housewife / mother. She was a single mom to 2 beautiful girls named Ashley, the older sister, and Bree is the younger sister. Mm-hmm. They were from a previous marriage, and in 2002, she met a man named David. Now, David was pretty much her savior, like pretty much her one hope in life. She just was struggling really hard. You know, money wasn't easy for her. She was a single mother. She was really stressed out all the time. And David owned his own air conditioning and like plumbing and like a construction service company. So it's like, he was like, let me take care of you.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they had a lot of like good common like struggles because he was out of a previous marriage where he had a son named David Jr. and he was pretty grown up too.
Yeah.
So it's what a lot of people call a blended family. When both new step-parents bring in children, you know? Mm-hmm. To the marriage. And so you would think that everything is so beautiful. Everything is so dandy. She started working for him as like an office manager. And according to all their friends, they were so happy. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, they all had their problems. Like, no marriage is perfect. I don't care what, you know, some TV shows or some Instagrammers trying to tell you, but
my marriage
is
will
the
be
worst.
perfect.
Oh. Okay, just kidding. So there was a little bit of problems with Ashley, who was the oldest daughter, and she just felt like he was so mean. Like, the minute that they got married, he straight up verbatim told Ashley that, listen, I'm already a dad. I'm not here to be your dad. But I will say, I will be a guidance. You will do as I say. I am an authority figure. Like, he was just kind of like a very disciplinary figure. Like, always
Asshole.
just, yeah, okay. He believed that everything he said, the girls had to do, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But didn't show them love like a dad would. So it said that he and Ashley always fought, but I mean, that's not so uncommon for, you know, families.
Wait, Ashley
Is the eldest daughter.
The older, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not so crazy. And everything was really good. Up until about 2005. Mm-hmm. At 2 p.m., Stacy, the mom, makes a call to the police, the local sheriff's office, and she's frantic. She's hysterical. She sounds concerned. And the police are like, what's going on, lady? Tell us. You need to calm down and tell us what's going on. We can't even understand you. Mm-hmm. She explains, last night, my husband and I, David, got into this massive fight, right? He locked me out the bedroom. He took a bottle of some alcohol, locked himself into the bedroom, and he wouldn't come out, right? I've been so stressed, but you know what? I thought as adults, he would eventually come out. Today, I showed up to work because we work in the same place, and he didn't show up. I'm currently driving back home because I'm worried. Why didn't he show up for work? This is so unlike him, right? And then the police are like, okay, tell us more. And then she goes, I'm worried because, like, it's worrying, but I wouldn't call the cops for that. If you locked yourself into the bedroom and you didn't show up for work the next day, I'd be like, okay, you're a big fat baby. Yeah. But I'm not going to call 911.
Right. You were trying to break down the door, maybe, at least, to see what's going on.
But she said she felt like she had to call 911 because he was always depressed. He's been depressed for some time, and they have a shotgun under their bed. And it's a legally obtained shotgun, but they have a shotgun. And so she's worried that something bad might have happened.
So she's not scared that he's going to hurt her. She's scared that he's going to hurt himself.
Because he has she says, a history of depression allegedly, right? And so the cops show up to the house. This is a serious thing right now because you're saying a guy who has suicidal thoughts is in a room locked in there after a fight with a shotgun. So some officers hold her back. They knock down the door. And then she's screaming. She's hysterical. All the officers are saying she's like crying. She's going crazy. She's like, is he okay? What's going on? They open the door, and this is what they find. And the only thing they can tell her at this point is, listen, I don't know if he's dead or alive, but he sure as hell is not okay. They go into the room, knock down the door. The first thing they see is David lying there naked, completely naked in the nude. Now, the shotgun was nowhere in sight. There was no bullet holes in sight. The shotgun was probably still under the bed. But what they did find was a very interesting scene. They found an apricot alcohol bottle. I think it was some sort of brandy. It was like a fruit brandy, right? They also found two kind of shot glass looking glasses. One was filled with diet cranberry juice, which I believe was used as a chaser probably to the alcohol. But the next thing was inside of it was this bright green liquid. And I know what you're thinking. No, this is not the story of the Green Lantern, okay? It was just like this really neon-y green juice. And so they're like, what the hell? And on the floor with the cap open was an entire bottle of antifreeze.
What's that?
So antifreeze is like this really strong chemical. And the crazy thing about antifreeze is a lot of people back in the day used to use it as like kind of a suicide way because it kind of tastes sweet. Like if you drink it, a lot of people actually used it to poison other people too because you don't really notice it. It kind of tastes sweet. So you could pour it into like a smoothie and you probably wouldn't know. And it just kills you from the inside. It's like a cleaning agent, really dangerous chemical. Like one sip, you're gone, dude.
So it looks like he killed himself by drinking that. Okay.
Wow, it's good. So they take his body, and it's being examined, and the coroner decides he committed suicide via antifreeze, right? But because in Syracuse, New York, they just wanted to do their due diligence. Like, the cops just wanted to do what was protocol, right? And also, one of the investigators on the case was just really suspicious of everything that was happening. He just truly did not believe that this guy would have done this for a lot of reasons. One being that this was not a very manly thing to do. Like, he literally said something along those lines, which I don't want to, like, I'm not, no tea, no shade, no hate, but I'm sure there are some statistics when it comes to how people do things, right? And he says when it comes to most men, especially in that industry of, like, plumbing, construction, their route of suicide is typically with guns. And so it's like, why would he have a perfectly functioning shotgun under his bed that would cause him no pain, but he's like, no, let me sit through hours of excruciating burning inside my intestines when there was a very faster, less painful option right there as well. So he goes, that's the first thing that's confusing to him. The second thing is he was from the Bronx, so a lot of people kind of credit his thinking. He had like this sixth sense. He just wanted to look around the house. He just wanted to see. Yeah, one of the police officers.
Which they should, right? If somebody dies, you don't just automatically think they are suicide.
Yeah. So he looks around the house and he finds in the kitchen trash can a turkey baster, which is kind of like a syringe. So a turkey baster is when you cook your turkey in the oven, you get the juice at the bottom and then you put it on top of the chicken. So it's like a syringe, you suck up the juice and then pour out the juice by squeezing the top. He sees it in the trash can and he goes, that's a little bit interesting, right? So he takes the turkey baster, he puts it into the lab with all the other things that they found, including the 2 glasses inside of the locked bedroom, right? And so to this day, at that time, kind of people were like, hey, dude, we know you're from the Bronx. That's usually not what happens in Syracuse, New York. It's pretty chill here. I know you're used to that New York City crime, but it was kind of chill here.
What does it mean? Like Bronx has a lot more crime?
Yeah, New York City, you know? And then this was like Syracuse, like the suburbs.
Got it.
So they're like, we know you've been transferred, but it's not that lit here.
That's great.
Mm-hmm. So he's like, let's run the test anyway. I've never enjoyed a chicken so much in my entire life. Wow.
Man. LA need to step it up.
Mm-hmm. So good.
You like wings?
I don't love wings. I like drumsticks. I like
Really?
wings for like Wingstop or buffalo wings. But like fried chicken, I usually like drumsticks. I feel like
Really?
wings are too hard when it comes to fried chicken for some reason. But like just the wings, you just stick your tongue in between the bones and then you eat the meat. So much easier. You know? Stick your tongue between the bones and eat the meat. Sorry. So the turkey baster gets the DNA testing done first, completed. And the person who does it tells the police department, hey, listen, here's the strange thing about the turkey baster. There are absolutely no fingerprints on it. Not David's, not Stacy's, nobody's, not Ashley's, not Bree's. There is no fingerprints on it. And on top of that, there was one sense of DNA on it, and it was at the very tip of the turkey baster. Not the part where the people syringe it, but the part that soaks up the liquid.
Oh my god.
And it was David's DNA. Now, inside the turkey baster, we also tested that because we'd like to do our job, right? And there was remnants of antifreeze, which is a very strong chemical that is, you just can't get rid of that, right? So then the police are like, okay, interesting. We're still not jumping to conclusions, but it's a little bit weird. Why did he do this? Did he just want to do it quickly so he thought maybe he would get a turkey baster, shove it down his throat, and insert, antifreeze into his system? That's a really weird way that they've never really heard of that. I mean, they've heard of people committing suicide with antifreeze, but with a turkey baster?
But it's also in the cup.
A trash can. So, I mean...
No, it was you say it was in the cup. Then he's trying to drink it.
Oh, yeah. Antifreeze was also in the cup.
Yeah. So was he drinking out of the cup or drinking out of the...
Yeah, right? So they're really confused. Now, obviously, they're kind of sensing maybe there was something behind the scenes that happened that the police are not completely understanding. There's got to be something else. And then they start digging into it and they realize that David had recently changed his will. So originally on his will, David Jr., his one true son, right? His own DNA, flesh and blood, he got some money. His ex-wife got some money and he put Stacy into the will. But recently he had changed it to the point where everything went to Stacy, Ashley, and Bree, which kind of contradicts what he told everybody. Like, he kind of treated Ashley and Bree definitely like they were stepchildren. He wasn't horrible, he wasn't abusive, but it wasn't like, you are my own, I'm going to adopt you.
Yeah.
So they were just so confused. Why would he do that? David Jr., his son, was like, does my dad hate me? I can't believe, I don't understand. I had such a good relationship with him. And then the ex-wife is saying, no, something fishy is going on. I know him. They didn't end on terrible, terrible terms, it seemed. But she was like, it's just not in him. And on top of that, all of his friends and family were saying, it's also not him. Ooh, wings. Sorry. It's also not him to commit suicide. It's just weird. The whole thing's weird. Ooh. Oh my gosh. That's beautiful. She's a beauty. Okay, ready? I'm gonna get some onions. Wow.
But how do you make a person change their will? Right?
You can fake their signature. You can force them to do it by threats, you know. Sorry, I got a lot of onions down here that I'm organizing. Organizing the onions, priorities, but. So they decide, you know what, we need to do some digging. And they realized, hey, listen, you remember how Ashley and Bree are not David's children?
Yeah.
Well, we found the dad. We found their original biological father, her first husband. His name is Michael. We're gonna go find him and we're gonna ask him some questions about this family because this family seems a little shady, right? So they go and find Michael, but they don't find Michael. What they find is his gravestone. Because he had passed away somewhat 5 years ago prior to David, right? Mm-hmm. And what's even more peculiar is that David's grave is right next to Michael's grave. She had decided to put both of her ex-husbands, well, I guess husbands at the time because they weren't divorced before they passed, right next to each other.
Oh my
so
God.
Interesting. And then she had because you know when like people arrange for their gravestones, you put your partner's name so that you can be buried together so the lot doesn't get bought. Well, she had bought a space right next to Michael. And now David was on the other side of her. So it was really creepy. So when she dies, it's like she would be in the middle between her two husbands. It's confusing. I mean, I don't really know what goes down under. I don't know if I believe in ghosts. But if I were a ghost, I would be gossiping a lot about this 3 people, right? Because I'd be like, that's a little weird, right? So they were like, that's a little weird. But again, maybe some people are weird. So they realize he's dead too. So they're like, this is weird. Mm-hmm. It's weird.
She's just killing. Oh my God, babe. She's just killing husbands?
Mm-hmm.
Is it really?
No, I don't know. Bone. So good. So the police are like, okay, this obviously can't be a coincidence. They start looking into Michael's family, right? They ask Michael's sister, the first husband's sister. Yeah. And she explains, and like everybody who knew them explained this story. They said that they were going, like when they got married within months of meeting each other, which doesn't mean anything's weird, right? Yeah. She said that he was the love of her life. They had 2 beautiful children, and from the get-go, Michael just had an attachment to their second daughter, Bree. Ashley is their first daughter. And so that made the mom want to be close to Ashley. It's kind of like our dogs. Like, he loves Mango, so I don't know if that's why I love Tiger or if, like, I truly love Tiger. What? But it's like, parents always do that. Like, they want both kids.
A thing?
Yeah, like, well, usually, what I've heard, right?
Well, both of my parents like me.
I don't know, question. Is that what they do?
Nobody likes you.
We got jokes tonight, okay? You might want out, Biz. You might want out. So they grew attachments to different daughters. And they were really close. Ashley and Stacy, super close. Bree and Michael, super close. But that didn't mean that Stacy and Michael stayed close. Within about a couple years of being married, it seemed like they were both cheating on each other. But for sure, it looked like Michael was cheating on Stacy. He just didn't seem that into her for whatever reason. Now, she had even confided in some friends saying, listen, I think I'm going to get a divorce. One of her friends, close friends, even gave her the number to her divorce attorney. Mm-hmm. And she was like, you know what? I'm just going to actually wait till after the holidays because I feel like I don't want to ruin this Christmas spirit with the girls. You know, I want everything to be happy. So she waits until after the holidays, but Michael didn't make it past the holidays. So the problem with Michael was all of a sudden, I mean, he was in his 30s. He was very, very healthy. He had no pre-existing medical conditions. And all of a sudden, he was just ill. Like, he was swollen. He was tired. He was coughing. He was just really, really ill. Now, his family, his sister, and everybody was telling him, go to the doctor. doctor, Michael. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And Michael was like, yeah, I just haven't had time. I'll have time once like the holidays are over, yada, yada. But he actually didn't even get to go to the doctor because he passed away all of a sudden, right? So the doctors told Stacy and all the family members that they think it was most likely a heart attack.
What?
But because he was such a healthy person, I mean, he wasn't a pillar of health, like he wasn't like a fitness guru, but he had no existing conditions that Michael's sister was like, I want an autopsy.
Exactly.
I want to know what's in his body. I want to know why this happened. Is this something in our genetics? I'm his sister. What if I have it,
Yeah.
And she just wants closure. And Stacy, being the wife, she has control. Like, I have control. Your sister doesn't have control once we get married. So Stacy said, no, I believe the doctors. Why go through all of that? Let's just leave him be.
How does the doctor come up with the conclusion of a heart attack?
I don't know.
Like, that's really random.
So he said it was a heart attack. So she was like, you know what? I don't even want to touch it. Sister was upset. I'm sure it caused a lot of family divide. She even got a life insurance policy of $50,000 out of this.
Who did?
Stacy.
It's not a lot, though.
With that money, she did the funeral, and then she took her kids to Disneyland and stuff. Very confusing stuff, okay? I mean, I get it, though. I guess if your kids are sad, right? Yeah, but it gets confusing later. You'll see why. So knowing all of this, having heard this story, they're confused. The police are like, seems suspicious. So they bring her in for questioning. Now, the full statement that she had told them, somewhere along the lines, I didn't tell you guys this yet, but she said that she gave him a glass of cranberry juice. Whether it was before they got into a fight, while they were fighting, or maybe he opened the door a little bit and she passed him a cranberry juice in a glass, right? This is pertinent because they ran DNA tests on the glasses in the bedroom next to David, her second husband, and they found 3 fingerprints, and they were Stacy's. Now, the weird thing about it is it wasn't like this. It was like this. Now, who do you know just drinks stuff like this? You usually do this when you're feeding somebody something.
You say it's from Stacy.
Yeah.
So Stacy handed it to him like this.
That's what they're trying. So there's 2 glasses. So they're trying to question her. Which glass did you give him?
Yeah.
Because she only has fingerprints on 1 glass. So if she says the wrong glass, then it seems suspicious. So she's like, it looked like this. So this is the thing that the police are trying to do. They think already at this point that Stacy killed her husband by feeding him antifreeze. So they're like sitting her down in this interrogation room. Which glass was it? And she looks at the detective, right? The one from the Bronx. And she goes, so when I poured the antifreeze.
No.
And then she goes, well, no, I meant when I poured the cranberry juice.
Oh.
So when I poured the cranberry juice, I used this one, right? And then so he goes,
they can't use that as evidence.
yeah. So he goes, but you just said the antifreeze. And then she goes, no, I didn't. This interrogation is over. I want my lawyer. I want to leave. I'm not participating anymore. You are trying to frame me. She said, you're trying to frame me, right? And so he goes, okay, if you want your lawyer, legally I can't say no, right? So he puts all of his little pictures, including the 2 pictures of the 2 glasses, back into his file. And coincidentally, the top picture happened to be a picture of the turkey baster that was submitted into evidence. And it was at the top. And he's closing his book, and she goes, wait. What is that? And then he goes, a turkey baster. And she goes, why do you have that? What does that have to do with anything? Why do you have a turkey baster? Is that my turkey baster? Why do you have my turkey baster? And he goes, well, you said this interrogation was over. So he closed his book and walked out. Now, from that minute forward, shit starts hitting the fan even harder.
Oh my God.
She decides to go home, and she tells her girls right away, like, the police believe that I'm the one that did this. I don't know why they're trying to frame it on me. And the daughters are like, what do you mean? Like, they said that he committed suicide. What do you mean? It can't be you. It can't be you.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. So with this information, the police got access to wiretap her phone. Not only that, they set up a camera outside her house house. Not only that, they set up a camera at the two husbands' graves because they also thought, well, if she truly did love them and we're on the wrong boat, maybe she'll go visit them, put flowers, you know, tend to their graves because this just happened. So this sent her into a frenzy. Ever since she accidentally said antifreeze and then she accidentally saw the turkey baster, she's been calling up every single person telling them, oh my God, they're trying to put me in jail. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. And the police are also working on something else. They finally got a judge to exhume the body of Michael, her first husband, which this never happens. This is very rare.
Oh, someone died a long time ago?
Not that they died, but police have a hard time digging up someone's body to put them back through it. So you need to have some crazy, you can't just be like, I think so, because imagine the family. They might just be done grieving. They might just be okay. And suddenly you're like, we're going to dig them back up. And a lot of the times it also has to do with like religion. Some people think you're disturbing the dead, you know?
Yeah.
So I found an onion in there. That's not appetizing.
That's your lucky day.
Okay.
If you get free onions, you don't say no.
So they exhume his body. Now, when she heard that they were digging him up to exhume his body, she was calling all her friends saying, I can't believe it. How could they do that?
She is.
Let my baby rest in peace, yada, yada, yada. She even showed up to the grave just so confused, shocked, outraged, right?
Yeah.
And sure enough, in his body after years, because antifreeze is that strong of a chemical,
The first husband too?
they found so much antifreeze all up in his system.
Wow.
It was not a heart attack. It was murder.
It's so crazy.
So they're thinking, oh my God.
Yeah.
But yet they cannot prove that it was Stacy. How? Just because maybe, like, you know,
The first husband, yeah.
yeah, who knows, right? So at this point, Ashley and Bree had no idea. They were upset. When they heard that their dad's body was getting lifted up to be examined, they were like, this is disgusting. The police department sucks ass. Why would they do this? This is my dad. My mom would never hurt my dad. We loved each other. And they finally found out. Ashley was actually told in school. She was literally in high school when the police came to her high school to tell her, hey, Ashley, I'm sorry to break it to you, but your dad was murdered. We just got the results. He was murdered with antifreeze. And she's like, I can't believe it. So she calls her mom, and this is all recorded because they had tapped Stacy's phone. And she calls her mom. They showed up at my school. What the hell is going on? They said he was murdered. What is going on, you know?
Yeah.
And the mom says, okay, those bastards, I can't believe they would show up to your school like that. But hear me out. You sound stressed. Why don't you come home and we'll have a drink? Now, Ashley's in high school, but you know what? Like when you're in high school and your mom says, let's have a drink, I honestly don't think I would have said no. I would have been like, okay, maybe my mom's going through a hard time. Maybe she needs me to sit there and have a drink with her. So Ashley says, okay. She comes home. They have drinks. It's not too bad. She's a little bit hungover in the morning. She's like, this was a weird experience, but life is a weird experience. She goes to school the next day, comes back home, and her mom goes, let's get drunk again. But this time, I'm talking hammered. Let's get really drunk.
What?
And so she's like, okay, I mean, Mom, it's so early in the afternoon. Like, I don't think I want to get drunk. And she was like, nah, let's just do it. Like, the police, they're accusing me of all this stuff I didn't do. Who knows if I'm even going to be around for your 21st birthday. So let's just make today your 21st birthday. And she starts making up
weird.
a cocktail for Ashley, right? Gives her the cocktail. Ashley says, oh, it tastes so bad, Mom. And then she goes, it's probably just too much vodka. Just drink it. And then she's like, oh, I don't want to do this. And she drinks the drink. Because, I mean, it's your mom. She's giving you a drink. And everyone's going through a rough time.
She's not going to kill her own daughter, right?
That was really gross. I'm so sorry.
I mean, she would be an idiot to kill her daughter at this time. Right?
So next thing Ashley remembers is she starts to feel woozy. So she goes into her bedroom. She lays in bed. Now the next morning, Bree, her little sister, goes into Ashley's rooms and sees her, and her face is completely, Ashley's face, she's unresponsive. She's, Ashley, Ashley. She won't wake up, but her face is petrified. It's like she's in agony the entire time. So she goes to her mom and she goes, Mommy, Mommy, something's wrong with sister Ashley. Something's wrong with her. Something's wrong with her. She goes to her room, sees that she's laying there, almost dying, goes and rushes and calls 911.
Who did? The sister?
Stacy.
Oh, the mom.
The mom. Within 2 years of calling 911 for the first time, another 911 call was made from this house. And she's frantic. She's hysterical. My daughter, no, this is not happening. This can't be happening. What do I do? She was drinking. I think she tried to kill herself. I don't know, right? She's freaking out. Somebody help me. And all of a sudden, Bree comes running into the room where she's on the phone with 911 and says, Mommy, I found this on her bed, on her nightstand. And it's a 750-word typed out, I want to call it an essay, but it's supposed to be her suicide note / her confession. And it said all sorts of crazy wild things saying, Mommy, I don't want you to get in trouble for something I did. I love you so much, Mommy. I killed Daddy because he never loved me. He only loved my little sister. And then I killed David because he was a shit-ass stepdad. And I did it all. And the police think it's you. But the police shouldn't think it's you, Mommy, because it was me, Mommy. I love you so much, Mommy. Please forgive me, Mommy. And it was typed out with Ashley. Nothing on that was handwritten at all.
That's the craziest freaking thing I've ever heard.
So then on the phone with 911, 911 can obviously hear Bree, the little sister, saying, I found this. And she goes, oh my God. Oh no, this can't be happening. And then she pretty much tells the 911 operator, it seems like she confessed. She tried to kill herself. Oh, but look at here, how convenient. She also killed my husband and my other husband with antifreeze.
What?
Crazy, right? 911, anyway, can you guys get here? Because my daughter's a murderer, right?
But you say the daughter's not dead yet.
Yeah. So the police rush her to the hospital. And here's the crazy part. If she had been 10 minutes later, she would have died. The doctors are so confused how she's even alive. They said it was a miracle. So they keep her alive. She's in and out of it because she was drugged. Whether she took these pills or not, she had a lot of drugs in her system and a lot of alcohol. It was not okay. So they didn't let Stacy see her daughter. They would not let her in, and they lied to her. They said, listen, nobody can see your daughter. She's in such an intensive care unit. But truly the police thought it was because Stacy was trying to murder her daughter.
Exactly.
So they had police stationed the entire time, and she was in and out of it, finally waking up when a police officer was just standing next to her bed and was just like, dude, I can't take it anymore. Why did you try to kill yourself? And she goes, why would I kill myself?
Wow.
And so the police officer is like, you wrote the note. It said that you killed the 2 people. And then she goes, I didn't write a note. What note are you talking about? I didn't kill anyone. I literally, why are you yelling at me? I went to my bed to take a nap, and now I wake up in a hospital and you're yelling at me. And so the police are like, oh, shit. Mm-hmm. So she tells them what happened that night. Her mom gave her the drinks. She didn't like it. Her mom gave her a straw, told her to keep stirring, and then told her just swallow it, And the police were like, what? Why would you listen to her? Mm-hmm. She was like, what do you mean? It's my mom. Why wouldn't I? If your mom gives you something to drink, you don't say, ew, mom, no. I mean, my mom gives me a lot of weird stuff to drink, okay? Coconut oil, a lot of weird shit, a lot of weird Asian remedies sometimes. But I still drink it, okay? My mom gave me a shot of vodka. Hell yeah, I'd drink it. But still, there's no proof. Who truly wrote the letter? Who truly killed those 2 people? Because both people had access to both men. And on top of that, Ashley was the only one alone with her dad when he died. She said that she remembered seeing him on the couch, like having a weird seizure, and she was only 11 years old. Oh. And so they're saying, you were the last one with your dad, the only one with him when he died, and you had access to your stepfather. So it could be both women. They don't know who it is. They don't know who wrote the letter. Is one framing someone, or is it truly she tried to commit suicide? And now she's like, well, I'm alive. I don't want to go to jail. Right? So everybody's confused. So they decide, well, either way, we're going to arrest Stacy, because the police still believed that it was Stacy. They did not believe it was Ashley, even though the public perception, the public was like, we don't know. We go either way.
Yeah.
So honey. Not like honey. Not like honey, but like honey. Even the grandma, Stacy's mom, got involved. And she publicly said that she would testify that she truly believed her daughter was innocent and that her granddaughter did it.
Wow. Wow.
But I'd say most people in the public thought it was Stacy because, I mean, she was only 11 when her dad died. And it's a lot, you know.
Yeah, why would she do such a thing?
And statistics show kids murdering their parents really rare. I mean, it happens, but really rare.
Yeah.
So January in 2009, finally the trial happens and every single person is staying tuned because this is the craziest scenario that you could possibly imagine. It's literally mother versus daughter because at this point, the defense team, the lawyers for Stacy decided the one way she's going to be free from jail is to blame it on Ashley. They are willing to say, no, absolutely not. It was Ashley. Stacy literally even did interviews with ABC and she pretty much said it was Ashley who killed those two men. Like, this is absolutely insane. So obviously everybody's holding their tits, turning on their TVs, trying to get the latest news of the court trial, right? So trial starts. First person that the DA puts on the stand, DA, very awesome guy allegedly, right? And he puts Ashley on the stand. She's so emotional. I literally saw a video of it. She's crying. She's so tearful. She's explaining how she found her dad dead the first time, how she loved him. You know, her mom gave her drinks. She trusted her mom, and she had no idea. She was so shook when she woke up in the hospital, and they were trying to say that she did all of this. Now, it's the defense term to cross-examine her. Yeah. So Stacy's lawyer, the mom's lawyer, goes up to her daughter, and the entire time, a lot of people are trying to see, okay, are these two looking at each other? Are they making eye contact? Stacy refused to make eye contact with her daughter, would not look at her, just sat there completely emotionless, which a lot of people in the press, like, they were saying, that's impossible. Like, if your daughter, your own flesh and blood, is accusing you, you would say, no, baby, I would never, you know? Yeah. You would do everything. You don't even care about the court. You want your daughter to know you would never do that. You know? Yeah. So it's just weird for a mother to do that.
But now those are evidence, right?
It's not, yeah. But the jury sees it, and the jury decides, you know? And so that was it. Court proceeds, trial after trial, people after people are brought into it. I think they had over 50 testimonies, and all of them were, whatever. They think Ashley did it. They think Stacy did it. Character witnesses. But eventually, the ultimate question was, is Stacy going to testify or not? Because she can't just say her side of the story and not have the DA question her and prosecute her and try to get her to confess, right? So finally, I think it was like super last minute, the night before, they say, okay, Stacy's going to testify. This is our last witness. So they put Stacy on the stand. She's incredibly calm, incredibly just emotionless, not hysterical like Ashley was, not even shedding one tear, just explaining her side of the story very calmly.
That's also suspicious. Why? Yeah. Like, that's weird. If she's such a good actress the whole time, then she should also be pretending to be sad or angry. Why is she emotionless?
Sorry, the honey's really sticky. I'm not smacking, I promise.
I'm also curious. I'm wondering if that's actually her daughter. Right? Like, can you imagine a mother killing a daughter just to... Like, killing her, not even like putting her in jail. Like, killing her.
Yeah.
Like, that's really freaking nuts. Like, you see what I'm saying?
And then, the entire time she's calm. Now it's the DA's turn to cross-examine her. And at first he starts off a little bit slow, but still very aggressive. And at the end, he's yelling at her. He's emotional. It's almost like you hurt him. He's talking to her as if he already knows that she's a murderer. He's putting on a show, some people said, right? He's going at it, yelling at her, and finally he presents one last bam in your face piece of evidence, and this one shook me to the core. So essentially it's a wiretapped phone conversation that she had with a friend. And she didn't say anything, the friend didn't say anything either, but it's what you can hear in the background, which is...
Oh my God! I just got the chills.
That was one piece of evidence, right? Oh, and there was another thing with the letter, right? Which wasn't that big of a deal in court, but I thought it was a big deal. When she was being interrogated, she kept calling antifreeze anti-free without the Z. Anti-freebis, okay? Ironically enough. And so in that letter that Ashley allegedly wrote, she wrote anti-free instead of anti-freeze. But the court didn't really think that was a big deal, which I thought it was a big deal, but they didn't really care.
Again,
but then your mom could teach you those words, you know?
But again, these are not evidence.
Yeah, but you could hear.
But even the typing, though.
Listen, right? In the background.
But still,
Ashley was not home at that time. And they checked the computers, and the last things written were 2 different drafts of that letter and a final copy of that letter that was eventually printed and put in her room. But again, not the craziest evidence, right? So that was how they ended this trial. Now, the jury had a couple days to decide. They took so much time. I think they took a couple days. Everybody was on edge. What's going to happen? Is Ashley going to be, prosecuted? What the hell is happening? Finally, the jury says, we have a decision. Everybody rushes back to the courthouse. They sit their asses down, and the jury says, for the charge of murder in the 2nd degree of David, we find her guilty. For the attempted murder of her own daughter, Ashley, we find the defendant guilty. And so she was convicted to at least 50 years before she could even apply for parole in prison. Now, what's even crazier is that in court, Ashley decided to give a last closing statement. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty much saying, I'm so sorry for all the people my mother hurt. Mm-hmm. And she was so emotional, saying, I thought she was my best friend. Right. I trusted her with my life, and so did a lot of other people, and she ended up killing everybody, essentially like that. It's not funny. I'm just like, what the fuck, right? And she didn't cry. She had no emotion. She just sat there. And so she went to jail, and in jail, ABC interviewed her again in jail, and she was so emotionless. She was like, I don't think I'm guilty. I mean, I don't talk to my daughters, but I'm not guilty.
What?
Yeah, and then here's the kicker of it all. Yeah, she was anti-free in jail, and she died at the age of 48 in her cell. They opened up her cell in the morning. She was dead. The doctor said that it was a heart attack.
Was it a heart attack?
That's what they said. A lot of people on the internet thought it was very karma-y because the doctor said that Michael died of a heart attack at a young age, and she passed at a young age, 48, of a heart attack in her cell. So it's just a little bit eerie. People were left with the feeling of, that's so weird.
Okay, so why did she kill everybody? The first 2 husbands?
They call her a black widow, right? And the term black widow is for women who kill their husbands, and they're kind of like serial killers. They're willing to go kill every single one of their boyfriends, mainly for monetary, material, or just very shallow gains. It's not because we hate you. It's not because, you're so mean to me. It's I want that insurance money. You're kind of boring now. The love wore off. I'd rather have money than you.
Or instead of breaking up with him, I'd rather just kill you.
Yeah, and I'd rather just get money. Because if we break up, I get nothing. But if I kill you, maybe I get 50 grand. 50 Yeah, 50 grand is ridiculous, right? So it's just... Yeah, everybody was confused. There is somewhat of a happy ending to this because Ashley just finished college. She's free. She is moving on with her life. And I teared up at this part. Because she has no family, which is so sad because
she still has one sister, right?
Yeah, but they don't have parents.
Yeah.
Their parents are gone. So the DA who was so emotional.
No.
He is going to be walking her down her wedding and stuff. They maintain a close relationship. Yeah, it's really sad because she lost her dad, and then she almost got murdered by her mom, and then she got accused of killing her dad and almost went to jail because of her mom. And then she lost her mom, even though you would probably hate your mom at this point, but it's still your mom, you have no mom anymore because she's in jail, and it's not you want to talk to her. So it's just really sad.
Wow.
That is the story of the Black Widow.
I think how do you feel tell people my mom
tried to
literally kill me. Almost killed me.
Yeah, this story made me appreciate my mom a lot. And I was watching the documentary while my mom was on the couch falling asleep, and I was like,
don't you dare. I'm watching you.
She kept telling me her soybean paste soup was real good last night, and that I should definitely try some. Why should I definitely try it, Mom? I'm just kidding. We're kidding. Okay, just trying to end it on a lighter note. So leave it in the comments what you guys thought of this story. Do you guys think it's crazy? Do you guys trust your mom? Everyone's like, Mom. Leave it in the comments what you think happened. Is she crazy? Is she nuts? Why did she do this? Or some people think maybe Ashley is guilty. I truly don't believe that. There's a very small percentage of people, but they think it's just too crazy to be true. And I think some of these people might be moms because they can't imagine killing their child or trying to. So maybe that's why. So leave it in the comments, and I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.